was just on my way home the other night when a car that passed us threw up a little stone and it hit the windscreen. Now initially it just put a little crack in the windscreen, but of course by the time I got the car home it had turned into this. Hopefully that's coming out on camera and you can see that it actually travels a fair way up the windscreen now. And of course I can't exactly blame anybody for it because there was that much traffic going past us. It could have been anything. And the stone chip's one of those things. It's one of those no fault things. It just happens when it happens. However, it does cause a bit of a problem for me because looking through the legality of everything, it's actually illegal in the UK to drive with a cracked or a broken windscreen. It does carry 3 penalty points and a fine, which is probably going to be around £100, I thought. Now, I don't really want to get fined, and I don't really want 3 points on my licence, not for a broken windscreen. So, I had a quick look around online, and I've been able to find replacement windscreens. This one and this Mondeo is a heated windscreen, and I have been able to find them online, anything from £180 to £400. I don't really want to pay any of those. So I did the next best thing. I checked through my insurance policy, and lo and behold, I do have insurance cover for the windscreen should something like this happen. So I've given the insurance company a ring. They're sending some people out in a couple of days to have a look at it and see if they can get it replaced. I have made them aware of the fact that it's a heated windscreen, and they've said that it shouldn't be an issue. They'll still be able to replace it, all for the grand price of £75. That, of course, is me excess on having a broken windscreen replaced. So I'm just going to have to pay £75 to have a new windscreen put in the front of the Mondeo, which is really a bit of a bargain. It's a lot less than 180, and it's certainly a lot better than £400. Now the crack itself doesn't actually come through to the inside of the screen. It's just on the outside. It is, unfortunately, that bit there is unfortunately inside the windscreen wiper sweep. So I wouldn't even be able to get an MOT at the minute because of the crack that's in there. Now hopefully you're going to be able to see, but that's initially where it hit. And it was just a chip there, which I didn't think was going to be too bad, but of course by the time I got the car home, it had travelled all the way up there towards the top of the windscreen. And this one is all the way through on the outside. So, the insurance have made arrangements for their company to come out and have a look at replacing the windscreen. Hopefully, when they get here, is something they're going to be able to do, and they'll be able to get the new screen in there. And also, fingers crossed, they're going to let me film them while they take the broken one out and they put the new one in, because that should be quite interesting. Maybe something you'd be interested in seeing, so I thought I'd do that. Maybe if I apply them with coffee and chocolate biscuits, they'll let me film it. Anyway, let's wait until they get here in a couple of days, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the windscreen. Well, the windscreen fitter has literally just left, and when he got here, I did ask him if he'd be okay with me filming while he changed the windscreens over, and he said no, unfortunately. He would prefer if he wasn't filmed when he was working, which is fair enough. You have to respect people's privacy, obviously, so I didn't do any filming, and the security cameras that I've got up didn't actually pick up where he was, because they're set up to be closer at the top of the driveway than where the car was parked, so unfortunately didn't get to pick anything out of it at all. However, it wasn't too bad a service. I mean, everybody always says you never know how good your insurance company is until you need to phone them to make a claim. Now, personally, and the girl I spoke to when I said that I wanted a claim for a new windscreen, she didn't know either because it wasn't a direct line to the insurance company that I phoned. But she said she didn't know whether or not this would be counted as a claim and it would affect my premium next year on the car, or whether it just went through as a windscreen replacement without actually affecting my car insurance. So I'll not know that until the premium comes through, but that's not going to be until November, so nothing to worry about at the minute. I'll show you the windscreen then, because it looks really good. Now obviously there's not going to be really much to see other than it's a new windscreen in the car. Obviously the crack that was up here has gone. It is a heated screen as well. It was a heated screen originally, it's been replaced with a heated screen. The only trouble we had, well, not really trouble, the only query that the guy had when he got here this morning is that when he got here, they supplied him obviously with the screen and all the parts that he needed to do it, but they didn't supply him one of these trim strips. He didn't have that with him, so there was a little bit of a discussion between me and him as to whether or not he could do it today, because if he couldn't get this to put a new one of these in, or if he couldn't get this to go back in, he would have had to get a new one. And when he phoned through the office to check about the possibility of getting a new one, the guy said he didn't know whether they were even still available or not. So he persevered, and it was going to be a case of, well, I thought it was going to have to be a case of just putting some like silicone sealant across the top and try and keep it working that way and make sure, I mean, it would have looked a bit untidy, but if that was the only way to do it, that would be the only way to do it. but he gently prized it out in one corner. I think it was the passenger side over there that he prized it out with, and it came out with no problem whatsoever, and he reckoned it would go straight back on, which obviously it has done, and now it's all sealed. And just after he got it out, the guy on the phone where he worked rang him back, and he said, yeah, I have managed to find one from the supplier that gave her the windscreen. So you can still get them. I don't know how much longer you're going to be able to get them, but you can still get them. Now, the only downside for me, I don't know if it'll show up on camera or not, but this is the passenger side seat. And I don't know if I can get it to reflect on the camera or not, but there is some little bits of glass, some like shards of glass, crumbs of glass, I don't know, crumbs, shards, that he's accidentally left, or he's actually left on the passenger seat, especially there. So we're going to need to get that cleaned off before anybody sits on there, because obviously you don't want that. There's also, I've just noticed a few minor bits. There's a bit there on the top of the dash, and there's a couple of bits sitting in here, and that bit there, of course. So that's slightly annoying that there's still glass visible on the passenger seat base. He did have a cover. He did put a cover across the the driver's seat and over where the gear stick and the handbrake lever is. The cover didn't go all the way across on both seats. And of course, when he checked over it quickly and he took the cover out, he just pulled the cover straight out from the passenger side of the car. So whether the cover had caught everything and it's just dropped a few bits on the passenger seat, or whether the cover was meant to cover the entire front end of the car from inside to protect it from any shards of glass that were falling, obviously I've no idea. As for how good they were, well, everything went swimmingly well. I mean, I can't really give them points, take points off them for the sheer fact that he didn't want to be filmed. That's everybody's private right, obviously, and you may use the same company. They may turn up for you, and they may have absolutely fine with filming if indeed you want to film it. So that doesn't come into play. Points down, I would say, take a couple of points off for the fact that there is shards of glass left on the seat. If you're a family person, you have children or you have animals, little bits of glass left on the seat, maybe it's not such a good idea. The windscreen itself, though, the old one came out very easily. The new one went in just as easily, really, when it all went in. There was no damage. Surprisingly, the good news is when he took the old screen out, there's literally no damage to the metal frame that the windscreen sits in, which I was amazed at due to the fact that it's a car from 1995. Some discoloration, but no actual rust, no rust stains, no loose rust, no scabs, nothing. It wasn't perfect, it was dirty, obviously, but no damage at all. So I'm really pleased with that. Now I've had a look inside the frame of the car where the windscreen sits. I'm really pleased I've seen in there, and it's all nice and clean. There's nothing to worry about. We did discover, I think I mentioned it in the previous video, we did discover when you went to take the screen out, that up here at the top, where just in front of the rear view mirror or behind the rear view mirror, if you're sitting in the car, there was a bit of delamination happening. So we did. So it's probably just as well that the new screen went in, but it's all in. It's all nice and clean. The only other downside, really, I suppose I can say about it is the fact that he was relatively chatty. He was a great guy. He's nice and chatty, talking all the time, asking us questions all the time. So he was a good guy to have to come out and put your screen in. After he fitted it, he did say, don't use it for an hour, give it time to set, and don't wash it for 24 hours, give it time to seal. And then he left with the key to the car, which is the only key I have to the car. And as much as some of the other cars that are parked in front of it at the minute do run, this one was incapable of running because I couldn't actually start it, didn't have the key for it. And of course, as well as not being able to start it, it also meant I couldn't lock it. So back indoors on the phone to the windscreen company, because I had their direct number as well. They'd give me that when they sent us a text to say when it was when the appointment was going to be made. So a direct phone call to them, let them know that he'd I presume accidentally left with the keys. They tried giving him a ring, but he must have been either driving or busy at the time because he didn't answer the phone call. So the guy said he'd leave him a voicemail and send him a text message and get him to ring us. At this precise moment in time, I'm waiting for a phone call to see what's going to happen with where the keys are and whether he's going to get back with the keys today, because I do actually need to use the car. And the worrying thing is obviously, if I can't get the keys back until tomorrow, which I don't think will happen, but if I can't get the keys back until tomorrow, I'm going to have to find some way of locking it tonight, which at the minute I can't do. So yeah, Service was great. Left a little bits of glass around on the car, and then did off with my keys. So, kind of stuck at the minute. So in the meantime, I'll get the vacuum out, and I'll get that glass off that seat. Well, that certainly looks better. That's got rid of all the glass shards on the seat. There was some on the floor, some fairly hefty chunks on the floor. And I've also getting rid of the one or two that were in there as well, across the top of the dash. And the driver's seat's fine. Gave that a quick clean out, as well as the floor on the driver's side there as well. So I think we're all done. You get a text message off the company that says, please allow up to 4 hours for the job to be done, and that you'll be here. Well, today he was going to be here any time between 9 and 4:30. Well, he turned up, must have been around about 9:15, 10 to 9, and he was only here for about an hour all in, and then he was gone. So I don't know, maybe he's allowed 4 hours depending on the degree of difficulty of fitting the screen in case there's any problems putting the screen in. But for now though, we're all done. We have a nice new shiny heated windscreen for 75 quid. I'm just waiting to get the keys back. So even though it's all nice and clean inside now and it's got a new screen, I still can't go anywhere when the weather's this good. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this one. If you've enjoyed it or found it informative anyway whatsoever, don't forget to press the like button on the way out and consider subscribing to the channel, because I think the next thing I'm going to do while I'm waiting for my keys to turn up is try and get the Ranchero started. But you'll see that in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.